Last week was good, though. We should be able to coast at least another couple weeks off of last week.
Absolutely.
No coasting, motherfuckers. No
Come on, let's do this.
Get on your mics, stay sharp, and be fucking funny.
Oh, that's no pressure.
Take a nap.
Jesus Christ. Thanks, Mr. Iconoclast.
From the guy who just woke up.
Welcome to Atlas Balked, a weekly chronicle concerning the mundane, weird, and maybe even sometimes dramatic happenings of a simple fantasy baseball league. This podcast captures the thoughts and musings of Greg, Joe, Jack, and Tim, 4 of the 10 owners in the league. Download this podcast on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you get your poetic podcast content. You can also connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and email. DM us or send us a note at atlasbalked@gmail.com. This is episode 78 entitled Gold Crown Members. Well, good morning, Balker Nation. We're so happy you're here with us. And I'm excited. I think this is going to be a good show. I think we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a chance to interview the champ, the mid-ball wizard. Scotty will be joining us in a little while. Of course, Joe's lawyers have told us that Joe will not be on that interview, so it will just be Swag and GK and me and Scotty. I definitely want to say, J-Lo, good morning. How are you doing, Sunshine?
Doing all right. I'm doing fine.
That's about as good as it gets.
Upset that I always get booted off when you ever talk to somebody interesting.
Joe, that was your fucking attorneys. It was your desire.
That's right. We're the bad guys.
And besides, Scotty's not interested.
Good point.
My decibel level was too high. You don't want to hear my voice. I get it.
When we were doing our Nielsen rating meetings, Scotty was not the owner we wanted to have win for the championship talk. I mean, I think I love the guy, but
Gonna give you Belichick-like answers?
Well, we talked about Dusty being dry. I mean, Scotty's actually dry. Dusty was just trying to be dry.
Playing Scotty.
Right.
You were gonna lose either way.
Right, exactly. GK, good morning.
Good morning, guys. I managed to, pull my life together and make it 2 weeks in a row. Aren't you impressed?
I am.
It's going to take a lot more than that to impress me, motherfucker.
It's a start.
Yes, thank you, Jack. Always supportive.
As far as you know.
Mm-hmm.
Such a nice little bromance there. Swag, how you doing, buddy?
What's happening, fellas? I'm doing well. You guys know that somebody actually paid $10,000 for invisible artwork? A James Franco, actually, the actor.
Oh, well, that explains it.
No, he created a non-visible sculpture and sold it for $10,000. An invisible sculpture was billed as a endless tank of oxygen.
Did he sell it to Seth Rogen?
It does not say who bought in the middle of
kite?
Yeah, while they were doing Pineapple Express.
Yeah.
You set a spot aside on your mantle, right? And move everything out of the way. And you're like, no, that's where it goes. Put it there.
I wish I would have. If I was going to pay that much, I would have wanted it to be bigger.
I think he can make it bigger. I think that's for another $2,000. For another $2,000.
I would have liked to have cleared a whole room and had the velvet ropes. And just had it in the middle of the whole room.
What if they got drunk and actually breathed the oxygen in the sculpture? And feel bad the next day? That would be terrible.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously, if beauty is in the eye of the beholder, the sculpture can be anything that you imagine, right?
True. Good point.
How did he know he took possession of it? Did he put it in a box?
That's a very good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, when he resells that thing, it's probably going to triple in value.
Write a check, and he says, "Yeah, it's over there on the table."
Yeah, no, you can't. No, you can't go over there. The art is over there. You have to send somebody that works here to go pick it up, and then they'll put it in your car, or in this case, you probably want to protect it, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't have it in a car.
You probably put it inside like a cushioned box
in a medium-sized U-Haul.
Yeah, 10,000.
2 guys in a truck to get it.
Yeah, exactly. College hunks moving junk.
Good try, fellas, but there's really no oxygen in this joke at all. It's not working. So.
It's better than buying art from Banksy. You guys heard about Banksy's self-destructing artwork?
No.
So Banksy, the world-renowned graffiti artist turned kind of pop culture icon.
Unknown, right? We still don't know who he is for sure, or who they are.
Yeah, there's pretty strong indication of who he is. There was an art auction like Sotheby's or Lloyd's of London or some really legit place, and it was like a large piece. I want to say it was like 4 by 6 feet, and it was on display, and somebody paid, I could be wrong, but it was millions of dollars, 1 million to 3 million, something like that. And as soon as the gavel fell and said sold to the woman in the corner, top part of the frame of this work of art was in fact a paper shredder, and it turned on by remote control and shredded the artwork in front of the purchaser's eyes.
I remember hearing about that.
That's performance art.
Yeah.
It's a great statement on the value of art, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the perceived value of art.
Yep. Anyway, how are you, Tim?
I tried.
I'm good. Thanks, man. 78 episodes in, the first time anyone has ever asked me how the fuck I'm doing. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh, shit.
Well, if Jack hadn't laid that egg, I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Talk about a wiffle ball game. That one was a swing and a miss. Swing and a miss.
We're getting out of our wheelhouse. You should have been like, Jack, do you guys know that the heaviest human excrement ever put out in one sitting was a full 4.5 pounds?
Suddenly the real shit fantasy guys come out of hibernation
to dispute it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, there's a guest for next week.
Talk about talking shit. It's official. Scotty is the champion, as we talked about a little bit earlier. But Scotty's the champ, and God bless Dusty, starts talking shit on Tuesday after the games are done. Where did that come from?
Right. Now they've taken it to a new level. Instead of waiting till they win to talk shit, now they just wait to talk shit either way.
Right?
It was all super weird and awkward. Yeah.
Where was he talking shit?
On the message board. And he just started talking about his play, giving awards out and shit to his players. Like, I want to thank Carlos Santana, who fucking came out of nowhere and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you lost. So first of all, again, the guy didn't mention Carlos Santana the entire fucking season. You know what I mean? Like, we talked about Carlos Santana. He didn't mention him at all. So it's just kind of odd. It's like he saved it all up with the assumption that he was going to win. And then when they lost, he's like, well, fuck, I don't really have a speech for this. Fuck it, I'll do the same one.
I assume his mother said, make sure you're a good sport, Dusty. Say some nice things about your players. Yeah, I got an extremely ill-timed text from Eldon last Sunday. I saw it appear on my screen, his name, and I was like, oh no, what do I say? What do I say? This is going to be so awkward.
Somebody had a family member died. You don't know.
But it was about the Steelers game. It was 4:51, and he texted me. I opened it up thinking, oh God, he's going to say something, and I'm going to have to offer a fake condolence to him after I've just been eviscerating him and Dusty, hours earlier that he hasn't heard yet, but it was all football. And we just totally avoided it. Your defense is good, but your young Steelers QB is struggling. And I was like, yeah, it's going to be a long season. And he wrote back, kind of like my last 2 weeks of the championship run.
Oh.
And I wrote back to him, oi, I was avoiding the subject. You had a great year. And he wrote back, we had a very good year, but it wasn't meant to be this year. We will rebuild next year and try again in 2 years.
What?
Yeah, exactly. I don't know if he's trolling me. And I wrote something weak like, yeah, it'll be fun. And that was it.
But I was surprised at Scotty. I don't think I've ever heard Scotty talk shit on the website. For him to talk about, really, Eldon and Dusty and the and was pretty shocking to me.
Oh, yeah.
Did not expect that from Scotty, and I can't wait to ask him about it.
Gosh, maybe I should start looking at the league site.
He's been waiting for a socially acceptable situation where he could discuss his desire to Eldon and Dusty. Yeah, these are the worst trash talkers ever.
Right.
Right. I talk trash in defeat. And I talk trash after I've won, after victory's been assured.
Right.
I'm going to say that he was being funny, and because he does listen to the podcast, so he knows we've talked about that over and over.
Oh, yeah, no, that was definitely the case, right?
I'm saying he did it on purpose.
No, yeah, but just the fact that, again, he as well had nothing to say. The difference between Scott and the Dreamers is that's Scotty's play. Like, Scotty didn't change anything throughout the season. That's what he does. He puts a team together, he hides in a hole, he puts his starting lineup in each week, and at the end of the season, he decides whether he's going to make the playoffs or not. So he did what he normally does. The Dreamers wanted to talk shit. The Dreamers wanted to get involved but they were afraid to. So whether Scotty is afraid to from the get-go and just follows the laws of the baseball gods from the get-go and keeps his mouth shut, but it looks better on Scotty because he does it. That's his play. That's how he, if he started talking shit all of a sudden, it would be weird, right? Like Tim said, as soon as he said something, Tim was kind of taken aback a little bit. Where the Dreamers, you can see how badly they want to talk shit, but when they do, obviously it goes bad, and fear and so on and so forth. So that, to me, that's the difference between them. But again, yeah, neither of them an exciting opponent for a final.
They should all sign up for like a correspondence course in the off season on how to talk shit. Like, I don't think Eldon knows how to talk shit.
Yeah.
We have a vastly superior squad this year, but anything could happen. That's why they play the games, I suppose. I can't wait to talk to Scotty because we have far more, in my mind, pressing business to discuss with him, which is specifically why the hell he ghosted us. This will be his first appearance in quite a while.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And he's ghosted us quite a bit since then, and I want an answer.
I absolutely think you should lead off with that.
Oh, trust me, I will.
He asked me for a list of questions, and I'm going to share with you what I sent him.
Who is he, De Niro? God, a list of questions.
Then he lets us loose on him.
Yeah.
In fairness to all of you, I did prepare him for that.
Well, two of you.
Oh.
What's that? I missed that. I was looking at my
two
notes.
of us.
That was Joe making another comment about his lawyer.
Joe's excluded.
Well, we weren't the ones that fucking got you into legal trouble with fucking HR Courtney, all right? So don't.
Exactly.
Can we see if we can get Joe's lawyer on one of these days, maybe? Like, just a quick interview. I know he's not going to give us much time, but maybe we can get him on for just a couple moments.
Arrange that.
So here's what I sent Scotty. So this is great. How did you do it? What are you going to do when you finally get your money? Do you believe in curses now? Why didn't you talk trash? What surprised you the most? When did you know you had it won? And then I said, of course, the moment Greg opens his mouth, those talking points could all go to shit. So he's preparing on those questions, and then immediately mayhem ensues.
Thinks he's preparing.
I could see Scotty like typing up responses, like APA style.
Yep. He's probably got 2, 3 for each one, depending on the the atmosphere and the way it's going.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's going to require response 3.
And then employing his children to write out his responses on giant cue cards.
Hold them up.
Stand just.
Right, and then Swag comes in with the gasoline and Greg throws a match. Like, that's just what's going to happen immediately. 7 seconds in. Hey, Scotty, how you doing?
Where the fuck were you?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Oh, that Benedict Arnold.
Okay, so let's burn this segment to the ground. Let's end it now. When we come back, we will have an interview with the champion of the Juices League, Scotty, the owner of the Crispy Chickens, otherwise known as the
Limp Chickens.
Champions.
Oh.
I was going to say the Midball Wizard.
No, the Midball Wizard.
Okay.
He's known as the Midball Wizard.
He is the Wizard.
Teed it right up for you, and you whiffed.
Oh, sorry.
Okay. All right, we'll see you guys in a minute. Yep.
Cool.
Okay, so we've been ghosted once again by the champ, by Scotty, right? So
I'm here.
Here I am.
Oh,
Hey.
Hey,
I don't think my camera's working.
There we go. That's okay. We can go ahead and ask some questions, go ahead and get it going anyway, the interview.
Okay.
I have a question.
Fire away.
Yeah, so Scotty, obviously the championship, you had less to do with it than curses and bad decisions by the people you were playing. Are you still proud of it?
Yes. It's the greatest accomplishment of my life. I thought parenthood would be satisfying, but that pales in comparison to winning this league.
It shows.
I've never been what you call a guy's guy. I was always the last pick. I didn't really understand sports.
Even in basketball?
Even in basketball. I was more interested in math and reading. I loved the Lawrence Welk show as a kid. Yeah. They said that made me different, but I didn't care. But secretly, I did want to be one of the guys, I guess.
Is this as close as you've come to celebrating a sports championship? You ever win anything when you ever play any Little League or other sports when you were younger?
Yeah, I was for a season. I was on the girls' soccer team, but we finished last.
Can I ask, did you dress up to be on the girl, like the movie Just One of the Boys, or were you obvious they knew that you were a male and just said that's where you fit the best?
It's hard to say. I was a kid. That's just what happened. I don't know. I didn't question a lot of things. Maybe I should have.
What's the Scotty? What's the weirdest greeting card you've ever received?
That's interesting. It was from my college roommate. It said he said that he liked me, and I thought that was nice until I opened it up and I realized that he'd been rubbing his testicles all over my stuff.
Scotty, what one thing, if you had to pick one thing, would you attribute that had the most influence on your championship? What one thing, whether it's physical, mental, what you had to pick one thing?
I think just the Dusty's voice. When I listened to Dusty's voice on the podcast, it made me so mad that I would read the box scores in the USA Today. I like the USA Today. I feel like it's more on my level. And so I would think about Dusty's sarcastic, nasty voice on the podcast, and that's what motivated me to win.
Who would you say was the MVP of your championship run?
Dusty's mother.
That's what I was going to say.
I mean, her FaceTime calls at all hours of the night, I found them very motivating.
Did she call you to root for you, or to obviously she was rooting for the Mondays, right?
Yeah, she was rooting for the Mondays, but she and I became close. I mean, she was up all hours of the night, FaceTiming me, sometimes just killing time in the bathroom, but it was nice. I felt supported.
Was she hot?
Oh yeah, she's hot. You've seen Dusty. He's a good-looking guy, and it's not far to see where that apple fell from that tree.
Where the fuck is this guy?
He said he was in, so I just sent him another link. He could see his feed, but nothing else.
He went to the first one.
Maybe he's been listening, unable to log in, but somehow he could hear it. That would be my dream.
Yeah, just let him know you sent two, because I did the same thing. You sent one, and then I ended up in that room by myself, which, by the way, was the best 3 minutes of this podcast ever. I don't know. Wasn't it?
Hey, who here's from out of town? Why don't you just drive over to his house?
I mean, soon, right? In a few minutes, we can start talking about the possibility that Scotty may be the dumbest champion that we've had, right? I mean, even Dustin figured out how to get on the fucking podcast.
God damn.
We've had Mike on, and
your brother figured it out.
Oh, yeah. Not the best
actually,
audio.
When Mikey and Chris were on, it was Skype, and it was a lot more challenging. This is literally
open your email, open Tim's email, click on join session, type your name, and hit enter.
You don't even have to type your name. You can skip that spot. If that becomes too much for you, you can not even have to type your name.
No, let's interview over the.
Hey, what's up?
Dude, what's happening?
Nothing. It doesn't progress. I've tried.
What about Chrome? You have Chrome?
That's why I'm in Chrome now.
Unbelievable.
Did you, I emailed you a link?
Yeah, I use that. No, I only see one of them. It made it to my Hotmail.
Hotmail.
Did you say Hotmail?
Was it 89?
Jesus Christ. It's my AOL address.
Sexybuns37 at hotmail.com.
I was trying to log on, but then my son had to use the phone, so I had to get off the computer.
I misplaced my AOL CD-ROM.
Can we impeach a champion?
Is he at a high elevation? Is that the issue?
You go to my Hotmail.
I sent this
Hotmail.
to...
They still have Hotmail, really?
I sent to the one you sent. It was basically...
I use my
an
Hotmail.
article
That's my
about
secret email that I hide from my wife.
Michael Mann.
Yeah, my grandmother still
Michael
uses
Mann's.
Hotmail.
Whatever you guys do, don't broadcast that I use Hotmail because I hide that from my wife.
And everyone else on the planet. Hotmail was going to shut themselves down as a company, but they still have 2 people subscribing.
Oh, all right. So then just hit join session.
I did, and then it grays out. Then nothing happened.
Grays out. Is he getting probed by aliens?
Yep. All right, let's get Joe back.
Is he using his computer?
I'm on my speak and spell. I've typed in the address on my speak and spell.
I'm using my Etch-a-Sketch. I printed out the link that you sent in the email, and I'm
I keep
touching
clicking it. Do I have to tap it twice or once?
You're on.
This is better than the interview would ever be anyway.
All right. So I'm gonna end this session. I'm gonna set up a new one. We're gonna do one last one.
Okay.
All right.
And if not, you're driving over to Tim's house.
And we'll finish the interview without you.
Prima donna, son of a bitch. I mean, fuck this guy. You know, I'm. You know, I didn't want to. You know what? Now that this isn't working out, this is just fine. I didn't want to interview this motherfucker. I guess I respect the fact that he won the league, but fuck this. You know, Benedict Arnold motherfucker. This turncoat. You know, motherfucking can't show up on time.
Right.
Ghosts our ass last year. You know what? I'm glad this happened.
This is him actually putting an effort.
Tim, you begged me, so I was going to play nice, but I can't tolerate this turncoat ghosting motherfucker anymore.
It's disrespect.
You know, I don't want to interview this motherfucker. I don't care if he won the league.
Barely.
He is a piece of shit, mid-ball wizard, dumbass who can't log on to his simple podcast call.
Right.
You know, I don't know who set his lineup for him. Dusty's mother must have set his fucking lineup for him every week because he sure as hell couldn't navigate the CBS site based on today. So I'm glad this happened. I don't want to talk to this motherfucker.
Oh, my God.
You want to respond to that, Scotty?
Scotty, make sure you're holding your phone right way up. It's the lower end that you speak into, and the other part you put your ear.
I'm sorry, Greg.
Oh, my God.
I'm doing my best.
I can't hear him.
Oh, my God.
Basically, all right, so here's how we're going to do
Does
it.
anybody have any craft beer?
I'll tell you.
Boy, the hops on that one was
right.
blew me away.
I'll tell you what they're saying. Basically, Greg
My
is saying,
spreadsheet says that
Super
first I should
hoppy.
log on, and then after
they
I
said-
log on, step 2 on the spreadsheet says that I should click the button.
So I list my craft beers, and I have 4 categories: the quality of the craft beer, the age of the craft
Now
beer,
they're making fun of you.
Of course they are.
The aroma.
the hoppiness of the craft beer, and whether it's a twist off or a bottle opener. Because I've a tough time with twist offs.
Twist offs, I have to bring a friend.
Yeah, and so I keep a spreadsheet, and I drink them in order based upon a logarithm.
Right.
So you've obviously never worked with a translator. So I'm just going to summarize it by saying that they're making fun of hoppy beer and spreadsheets.
I
And for
represent
everybody
the
who,
Lollipop
is listening,
Guild,
basically,
the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop.
and then Greg is singing songs from The Wizard of Oz. Since we're going to have to do the interview this way on the phone, what questions do you have for Scotty?
How does he look himself in the mirror?
Greg wants to know, how do you look yourself in the mirror?
How do I look at myself in the mirror?
Yes.
Ghosting motherfucker that you are.
Ghosting motherfucker that you are. That's a direct quote, by the way.
Oh, it takes one to know one, first of all.
I ghost women, not my friends.
I showed up every week and played baseball and kicked everybody's ass. So that's not that's not a ghosting approach to life right there. I was involved.
Scott came to the championship to kick ass and chew bubblegum.
No concerns, Greg. I don't know how to throw any drama back at him on this one.
Because he can't. because I'm right.
Yeah, you'd have to log in order to actually accomplish that.
He's afraid.
Like sweating bullets the last 30 minutes trying to get into this stupid ass squad cast, and nothing works. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, it's real complex. I used to have my dog before he passed away would log on for me.
Well, I'm going to restart my computer because that's the only thing left to do.
Well, I'm gonna take off because I have my life to live. I can't wait for Scotty's computer to reboot. Good luck next year, Scott.
Well, tell those boys to have a good time. Sorry I couldn't join.
Yeah, we're real sorry too.
Yeah, we're getting used to
I
it.
have to get another computer and try it next week or some other week.
Judas!
Guys, I just want to be 100% honest with you. Last year, I was just a little nervous about coming on the air. So this year, I'll be honest, in week 3, I was actually rooting against myself because I did not want to have to come back on the podcast. And right now, I am actually on my back porch. I'm peeling apples and pretending like I'm trying to get onto the podcast because, quite honestly, I'm fucking afraid of all of you guys.
Is Greg ranting?
It's no, that's now Jack's in the mix, and he's
I was so frightened, but then my wife got me Pepto-Bismol. And that'll solve one of my problems.
So we've already done an interview with you where Greg played you, and then now Jack was getting in on the fun. So
good.
Is your computer restarting yet at this point?
Yeah, no, it's trying to. It doesn't like me, which I don't ever have any problems with this computer.
I can relate to your computer.
I knew the Mondays winning would have been better for the podcast. I fucking told you guys.
Target of Greg's.
How desperate are we that the thought of interviewing Eldon has greater appeal than interviewing Scotty? Woo!
Right.
Jesus H. Christ.
For the sake of the podcast, next year we start fixing the playoffs, guys.
We're just going to hire actors to play the Mondays and Scotty.
Oh, there we go. Yeah. That's a good idea because, we can't deal with this anymore.
Some computer-savvy people who can speak. Hey, Earth to Scotty, you trash talk before the game's conclusion has happened.
I couldn't mess with the gods, man. There was already too much in play. I couldn't say a word. I couldn't even talk to my family about the baseball.
He couldn't talk. He actually smacked his children 3 times that week for asking him how the game was going.
Ask him what he did to offend the basic computing skills gods.
The log on God.
I used all my juice on the baseball league.
Obviously.
On the World Series.
Yeah, okay.
I got no God's juice left.
Yeah.
What if there's a Hallmark card for that? No God juice left.
Congratulations on your
I'm like the lottery winner, though, that keeps paying the price. Like, all the shit has gone wrong since I won, by the way. My TV went out. My hot water heater went out. It's just been a shit show around here.
Well, just so you know, our league pays late, so just don't count on any winnings to pay for any of that shit.
Oh, no.
That greeting card that you referred to, Tim, it's on the first part of it, it's a picture of Michael Jackson, and it says, your sleepover with Michael Jackson has been canceled. And then you open it up and said, he's run out of God juice.
Greg just made up a Hallmark card for God juice, so. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
It's terrible.
Actually, the God juice is on the counter right next to the register and the Rhino pills. You can pick up a little God juice as well.
You know what? And as much as I'm enjoying hearing Scotty not hear us and try to log onto his computer, I actually have something to do. So, boys, with great affection, I say adieu.
All right, see you later. Have a good one, Greg.
Thanks.
Well, welcome back, bots. Wow, I mean, what an interview with Scotty! I can't believe how different that went from what I thought was going to happen.
Little prick.
Really?
Yeah. It's unbelievable.
I can't believe he was that forthcoming.
What do you think happened on that interview? What would be your take?
The usual. He said nothing with you using a lot of words. He just said nothing.
Scotty did or Greg?
Yeah, both of them.
Next week, Joe interviews his plant.
What big revelation do you think came from this hard-hitting interview that we did with the Juices League Championship? What would be your guess, not having been on the interview?
Scotty's secretly in love with Jack.
Oh, that's not far from the truth.
That's a secret?
It's Greg and Scotty. I think this whole bromance thing that they got going on.
Jealous much?
Through the magic of technology, we haven't interviewed Scotty yet, so we have no idea what's going to happen. And I don't know if this will put an idea in Swag or GK's
God, I
head.
hope so.
But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But, thinking of like bromance and love and affection and expression of that.
All the other things that we generally bring to the table.
Exactly. This is a this podcast. We're actually working on a deal to broadcast this podcast on the Hallmark Channel. Believe it or not. Nobody believes that. Okay, neither do I.
Yeah, not one of us is good looking enough. Although we're all pretty nice.
That's Dean Cain good-looking territory. You got to be Valerie Bertinelli hot to get on the Hallmark Channel.
Oh my gosh, Valerie Bertinelli in the '80s, right?
Oh, she was my dream girl.
Mine too.
Oh yeah,
and I loved Eddie Van Halen. So when those two got together, I was
perfect.
Thrilled.
It was fucking
was
magical,
so
wasn't it? Yeah. Same here.
I loved it.
Same here.
I loved it.
Jesus.
Well, Tim, you mentioned the Hallmark Channel, and I was in a Hallmark store this past week, guys. I was buying a birthday card for a family member, and I am reluctant to share the fact, but I must admit that I found myself thinking of you, Joe, while in the Hallmark store.
Well, my birthday is coming up.
Aww.
That makes sense.
But not for that reason.
No.
Joe...
Jesus Christ, GK, show a little love, right?
No, not for, how do I know?
Joe, it wasn't positive.
He just told you. That's how you
Well, yeah. Well, that's not what I was thinking at the time. Juiceless crew here, we've known each other various lengths of time, but to me, Joe is still the most mysterious member of our team.
And to them.
Yeah, and I spend, I wouldn't say a lot of time, but I spend some time thinking about things that I encounter in daily life and think, what would Joe do in this situation? Or
WWJD.
Yeah, exactly. And so I have to admit, Joe, and this is in all seriousness, I found myself in this Hallmark store, and I thought to myself, I wonder if Joe's ever been in a Hallmark store. I wonder if Joe's ever purchased a greeting card. And I'm going to walk you through my logic. And I'm going to
see. My logic is Joe is not a feeling human being. Joe cannot comprehend feelings, so.
I'm not in the Hallmark store all that often. I don't buy that many greeting cards. And I thought to myself, you know what? He probably has. But then there was a part of me, a significant part of me that says, maybe not, though. I could see that as being a distinct possibility that Joe just doesn't believe in buying greeting cards. He has an ethos where he's going to write a letter or he's going to make a phone call and that's it. He's not wasting money on a greeting card.
Yeah, or he only uses the local greeting card maker there in town that hand, writes the greeting cards because he, wants to keep small business.
Exactly.
Well, most of the time for my greeting card needs, that's why I have a wife, so I don't have to do those things.
See? See, I was right.
Now,
that's not answering the question.
Greg can't comprehend that part.
Al Pacino in Dog Day Afternoon. See?
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, good job, GK. Good job.
But remember the era before you were married. Or, in fact, if you don't make your wife buy her own greeting cards for herself, do you? Or do you?
I do not.
Good
I have
answer.
been in a Hallmark store.
You
I
have?
purchased things there, yes.
Are you a Gold Crown member?
No, I am not.
When's the last time have you been in a Hallmark store this century? Let's put it that way.
Yes.
Okay. This decade?
But not this year.
Okay. So I prepared a little quiz, and boys, you can play along as well, but I'm going to describe 4 greeting cards for you, Joe.
Okay.
2 of them are real, and 2 of them are made up. And I would like for you to try to deduce which ones are real and which ones are fake. Does that sound like a fun game?
I don't know if fun would be the word I'd use, but I'm game.
I would like to interject. I am either very impressed with the amount of time and effort that Greg obviously put into this, or scared as shit. I'm not sure which. So
No, I mean, no, I'm not, guys. I'm not exaggerating. This wasn't some like, oh, Greg wasn't really in the Hallmark store thinking about Joe. I was.
No, we believe it. Yeah, no, that's our point, right?
And like as I was picking up cards and looking at them, I was like, would Joe believe that a card like this exists? You know,
much like the idea that Courtney still listens to the podcast after all these months.
Oh yeah, she
does.
I'm feeling a little stalked now.
Greeting card number 1. They probably do, Joe.
Oh, I wish. Should we have some music like or like?
It's gargling. A fucking alligator doing Listerine.
That was a drum roll. That was a drum roll.
I thought Tim was choking.
Tammy, it's bacon again.
I was going to say, I thought Tim forgot to chew his piece of bacon again. Yeah.
I think he's having a stroke.
Yeah, how about hey, how about Mr. Editor? You put in music after the time. Would that be so difficult?
Yeah, wait till you see what I do to your voice with that fucking.
Whatever.
All right, so on with the greeting cards.
So greeting card number 1. Let's go through all 4 greeting cards, knowing that 2 are real and 2 are fake. So in greeting card number 1, the first scene is 2 poorly drawn cartoon characters lying in bed. One has long hair, so it's clearly a male and a female. And the outside of the card says, "I like you so much." And then on the inside of the card, the woman is still lying in bed, and the male is up, and it says, "I sometimes rub my testicles all over your belongings while you sleep. I hope that's cool." Okay, so that's number 1. Greeting card number 2. It's a floral image on the outside of the card, and it says, "My condolences on your loss." And then on the inside, it says, "But if I'm being honest, I didn't care much for the departed, but I do feel bad about it."
Okay.
All right.
The next card it's a picture of Jesus, and he kind of has a devil-may-care look on his face, you know? And and at the top of the card, above Jesus's head, it says, "So then I was all like, Mom, chill out. I'll be back in 3 days, tops." And then on the inside of the card, it says, "Happy belated Easter." Then in the final card number 4, looks like a report card or a test result, and there's a positive sign, like a plus sign and a check mark, okay? And on the outside of the card, it says, "I have an STD."
That one's real.
On the inside of the card, it's 2 hands holding, like 2 people holding hands, just the hands, though. And it says, "Let's not worry about who infected who. We're stronger than that."
All right, so 2 of those are definitely real.
Yeah, 2
right?
of those are definitely real.
So people like us obviously started writing greeting cards at some point, and I missed that.
Yeah, so number 1 was the couple card that "I like you, but I rub my testicles on your stuff when you're not looking."
Testicles, right?
Right.
Number 2 was the condolence card, the death in the family card, saying,
"Glad he's dead.
My condolences, but I didn't really like him."
Yep.
Yeah.
Or her. And number 3 is Jesus, the belated Easter card.
Yep.
And finally,
back.
"I have an STD card, but let's not quibble about who infected who."
Wow, this is tough. I thought it was going to be a little easier.
Right.
I think the Jesus one is definitely real.
So number 3.
And God, I can't imagine that somebody would send a card that said
any of those things.
Well, the first one seems to be too specific.
What, the rubbing the testicles?
Yeah, that just seems a little too specific.
If they had said junk, then maybe it would be fake. But
I guess. Yeah, the grammar was a little too good for a greeting card. So I'm going to go with the Jesus one and the last one, the STD.
The STD one.
Those are my guesses.
Okay. And the judges have scored that Joe has 1 right and 1 wrong.
Oh! Okay.
So I'll give it to you, Joe. Good job. The Jesus, the belated Easter card is real. Any other guests, or should I just relieve the dramatic tension and tell you the other?
Go ahead. Let's let Blocker Nation know.
The other real one was I rub my testicles on your stuff when you're not looking.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
And this was at Hallmark?
I'm sending a picture of it to you right now.
Love it.
Hallmark? This was in a Hallmark? This wasn't like a hot. What is the
Hot Topic? Yeah, Spencer's.
Hot Topic or something?
Hot Topic.
I don't know.
The fuck is a Hot Topic?
So, Joe, you don't know what Hot Topic is?
What is Hot Topic? So, Joe, have you ever been to a Hot Topic?
No, I have not.
Joe, have you ever been to a mall?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been to a mall this year.
Next week, listeners, we're gonna name 4 stores in a local mall. 2 of them are real, 2 of them are fake. And see if Joe knows.
I might not.
Oh my god.
So I've definitely been in a relationship where I could have sent that first card to given that first card to somebody.
The testicles?
And in my opinion,
Yeah,
that's a phenomenal relationship, right? If you could go to the point of Hallmark card and then share such a ridiculous thought on a Hallmark card, to me, that's a good relationship, personally.
Can I clarify something though? Are you saying
Not that you actually not putting your testicles on their stuff,
good.
but the card itself. Yes.
you read my mind, Chad.
At about
You read my mind.
2.5 weeks into the relationship, that's when I start putting my testicles all over their stuff. That's
But you did read my mind.
I
was like, I was about to say, can I clarify? Are you saying a great relationship is when you can give a card like that, or when you can actually do that?
Yeah, both. Both. I'd say both.
Oh my gosh.
That's good stuff.
The nice thing is, Joe, that I was thinking about you.
That's true.
I appreciate that.
I want to know more about you. I feel like I know you a little bit better now.
I'm glad it was not in an IKEA that you were thinking of me, or in a knife store or something.
I'm going to have lunch with a young lady today, and she lives a little further south, and I do have to pass an IKEA. And so I am thinking about stopping at IKEA on my way back because I need some new cereal bowls.
Is this? Do you suppose when Greg goes on a dating site, that's part of the criteria that he lists? Do you live near an IKEA?
100%.
Yeah, I don't put I want my date to live within 3 miles of me. I want my date to live within 3 miles of an IKEA. You know?
Yeah, it's in his dating profile. Actually, I've seen it. So, Tim, do you think that where do you think that Greg started thinking about Joe? Do you think it was at testicles, or I don't care that he's dead? Like, at what point?
It was the STDs. Yeah.
And is that concerning?
Yeah. It was the STDs, and then he was like, hello.
Testicles, STDs, Joe.
Yeah.
Joe, shut up. You had me at testicles. You had me at testicles.
It is kind of weird, though. I mean, guys, come on. We've spent hundreds of hours together doing this. We're, closing in on 100 episodes. You come up a lot in my thoughts, all 3 of you, and the text strings. And I mean, I know we're harsh on each other sometimes and stuff, but a lot of love too. And that's nice. It's almost beautiful that you would be. I can picture you in a Hallmark store thinking about Joe.
And it amused me. It didn't concern me. It amused me. But, it's funny you say that, Tim, because for those of the members of the podcast on Facebook, sorry, Joe, I posted over the weekend a Pirates broadcaster, retired. This is his final game today. He's calling on radio. And he's been a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates organization for 60 years, 60. He was drafted out of high school at 18, and he's now 78. And so it's Steve Blass. He was 1971 World Series MVP, 20-game winner. He, became the guy who lost his control overnight. But then he's been a broadcaster for like 40 fucking years for the Pirates. And like they had the nicest broadcast Friday night, and then yesterday they did the thing. And it got me thinking about you guys in a very sincere way. Like, these guys, these broadcasters, this broadcast team has been together for decades, and they were extremely emotional about the fact that this was his last weekend. And I thought about you guys in a very sincere. There's no joke, there's no punchline coming, Balked Nation. In a very sincere way, like these guys, we've done 70 plus episodes of this 1.5 hour, 2 hour podcast together, and it really does make me feel close to you guys and think about you a lot. And then I started thinking about like these major league, particularly baseball broadcast teams who do 162 games plus spring training games a year, see each other every freaking day for 6 months of the year and for decades, and how close they must get and how difficult that really must be to have that kind of daily routine of spending time together and talking about something you enjoy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, no punchline. Just it was a very. I found it, being a big Pirates fan, I found it emotional to see all these former players and coaches and broadcasters talk about how much they love this guy, Steve Blass, and I was like, wow, that is super cool, and I could certainly get this. I guess what I'm trying to say is, I would have thought it was cool if this had happened 3 or 4 years ago, but now that I'm part of a group that does something, even in the neighborhood of that,
you can appreciate
it makes it all the more poignant to me. So I just want to let you guys know I love you.
I love you too.
We'll be going to Hallmark and buying a card.
A very special,
true Hallmark moment.
Yeah.
Tim,
and I should also let you know that because my Hallmark card is going to say I love you guys for broadcasting with me, and then when you open it up, it's going to be like I rub my testicles on my mic after we finish.
I think Dusty called that several episodes ago.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so do me a favor, GK. Stick to the punchlines.
Yeah, sorry.
The sappy stuff is incredibly boring.
Oh, sorry. Well, it had to do with baseball, too, so.
And Hallmark.
No, that's super sweet. I share your sentiments, man. This is...
he was telling the truth. He was probably thinking of me in the Hallmark store thinking, boy, I could use the edge of this card to cut his throat.
Oh,
my God. How cynical is Joe if I was telling the truth?
Let's take a moment. Let's just take a moment to
let's just talk about he also ideated you murdering him. So
I don't believe Greg. But if he really was thinking about me in the Hallmark store, it's probably wanted to kill me.
And there you go, folks. There's a quick snapshot of everybody's brain here on the show.
Oh, my God.
Greg takes 2 minutes to pour his heart out, and Joe's response is, he's probably thinking about killing me.
And yet, despite Joe's utterances like that, Jack and Tim, you guys were like, of course Joe goes to Hallmark. It's declarations like that make me question whether Joe's ever purchased a greeting card. Sorry. I can see Joe calling ahead to like a greeting card company and being like, hey, I need 2 birthday cards. Can you pick them up and have them ready at the counter for me when I get here? And then being like, well, sir, they kind of the whole intention is for you to choose them yourself. Just have them ready.
Nothing over the top, please.
Nothing with testicles in it.
Nothing that would give the receiver an idea that I love them. I mean, I like them.
Right. Yeah. Don't go too strong now. I don't want to put myself. Joe, the thing is, Joe's been hitting those Hallmarks because he's been looking for that STD card for quite some time now. Hasn't been able to locate it. So,
Joe, when you do buy greeting cards, do you write "Love Joe" or do you say "Regards" and then have your full name?
Wait, Joe. When you do buy greeting cards and Gretchen fills them out for you, does she write?
I think the only ones I actually write myself are the ones that go to her.
See?
For next week, what I would like you to do is gather some of the greeting cards that I'm sure she saves and read them to us on the air. How's that sound?
I don't know where she would keep them.
I mean, in all honesty, that's what this show truly is about, right? It's about us sharing embarrassing stories about ourselves, right? I mean, we've all done it.
Some more than others.
Whether it involves gas station drugs to keep your dick hard, or singing New York, New York while chaos ensues on the floor, right? Or being an overweight fucking drunk tripping up the stairs after a tough game of cornhole, right? So come on.
Or Joe, who does his embarrassing stories on the air.
That's right.
Drunkenly attacking an HR professional.
I got nothing to hide.
Fair
leave it all out there.
If you do it all on the air, there is nothing to hide.
No, yeah, Joe, there's nothing to hide except for the podcast itself from all the people who know.
Yeah, except the truth. The truth we're going to hide. But other than that,
I have nothing to hide as long as nobody I know listens to this.
Put some powder on.
Hey, gentlemen, I think I'm gonna end this episode with a poem. I was inspired by GK and
Oh, Jesus.
roses are red, violets are blue. I think this episode is dead. Don't you?
Oh,
Yes. Have a great day, everybody.
and you had the nerve to make fun of Jack's joke. Oh,
Make fun of Jack's joke. When did I make fun of Jack's joke?
at the beginning of the
At the
episode,
beginning.
you said it fell flat, and you
Yeah.
end it with that.
You got one better?
oh,
No, I don't. But
All
I'm
right.
not
Well, then
putting it
there you
out
go.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
roses are red, violets are blue. Get the fuck out of here.
all right, that's a little better. Yes.
there once was a lad from Bel Air who was banging his girl on the stair.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Tammy, get me war waffles. How's that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, not that that's been worn out too much.
Well, they're still laughing. The fans love it.
Unfortunately, the editor doesn't.
You know,
no,
Gallagher,
it'll stay in there. It'll stay
Gallagher, when he's up on stage, they're all like, "Hey, you know what? Don't smash a watermelon this time. We've seen enough of that." They're still lining up around the block to see that guy smash stuff.
Okay, boys. Well, listen, this has been great fun. We'll talk to you in a week.
Later.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye, everybody.
By you, we mean Joe.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna say, do we have to pretend like we're hanging up to?
Guess. See you guys next week. Have a good one.
Oh my God! But the listener is Jesus
This is
Christ.
still the listener. We're still heavy listeners. I thought the show was over.
I thought you cut the show 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
This is just outtakes.
we didn't end it. We didn't say goodbye. You know,
Oh,
we didn't do
sorry.
our fade away. I don't know. I mean, maybe you'll pick it up on the 80th show. For Christ's sake, we're at
Tim.
79.
Tim, are you on a low carb diet or something? What's wrong with you?
Below
I'm looking
anything.
good, aren't I?
Yeah.
It's awful dark in there.
That and the attitude.
Jesus.
I still think roses are red, violets are blue. Get the fuck out of here is the way to
Did
end it.
did they remove McRib from the local McDonald's restaurants?
He bought an Impossible Whopper and he's really upset.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I'm going to rub my testicles all over you. Have a great day, fellas.
Yeah, see you later. All right, boys. Talk to you later.
Take care.
Sick fucks.
Bye.
Bye.
I was once called the big brother to the Yaya sisterhood.
That's right.
Were any of them hot?
What were they wearing?
Oh boy, I thought that was long gone. This is great.
What do you mean? That's just who I am.
Never.
But you know, I mean, I do think that sometimes. Anyway, fuck it. Fuck that shit.
What are your feelings on bromance, Tim?
They call him Mr. Golden Voice.
Welcome back, Box. And we just had a really interesting conversation off mic. And so, Swag, how did that relationship with those two women who didn't know you were in a relationship? No, just kidding. Just kidding. We're not ready for that. We're not ready for that type of.
Make a good reality show.
Baby steps.
Call it Port St. Lucie.
Ah,
No, that was Palm
coming to
Beach
NBC for daytimes.
County. Pizzle.
Port St. Lucie.
The 3, 2, 1.
Fucking
Yeah,
TPA. I'm down with
Tiddlywink.
TPA.
So,
Down with TP.
See professional Americans.
See?
so there's one other thing that so the best part is when Greg's relationship
When?
When.
No, let's say when. Come on.
Okay, when Greg's relationship
It's a few,
explodes,
Don't
few
coddle me.
consistencies.
implodes, bursts into a supernova, we're going to have like 3
Champagne
weeks of
supernova.
trashing Port St. Lucie.
Yeah,
It's going to be so fun.
I'm Joe, and I approve this message.
Oh, mark that. Save that.
yeah.
Oh, that's going to get used.